What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and this is going to be the first episode of a brand new series. Let's win a YCS this time, not let's just top, because, man, I'm really craving the W, you know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to explore as many options as possible, try to figure out which deck is the best. So for episode number 1, I am going with Sky Striker. I think this might very well be one of the best decks in the format. My win rate, as you can clearly see with the title of this video, is ridiculously high. I actually didn't drop a single match in EDO Pro, and in Dueling Book, the only matches that I've lost were to either me misplaying once, and the other one loss was to Altergeist because he had Imperial Order Game 1 and Game 2, which is pretty lame. But yeah, before we start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe, and also please watch these videos as soon as I upload them. Would really motivate me a lot to keep making videos like these, series like these, based on your guys' suggestions. And yeah, so what I'm actually going to be doing in this video is going to show you guys my thought process, my kind of just the way I deck build, theory, playtest, and everything, because I do feel like the kind of the steps in order to get a winning deck list in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are really kind of intricate. You have to do, it's really iterative, right? It's not just, oh, okay, I think this deck is good, I'm gonna play it, whatever, it works, and if I scrub at the event, it's because I got unlucky. It's usually a bit more than that, and the deck like Sky Striker, it's really grindy, so even although on paper it might look kind of bad, you kind of get to play almost every single game. So what I'm going to show you guys is not only 2 deck profiles, I'm going to explain everything, and also I'm going to show you guys kind of replays and reasons why I decided to go from one list to another. So as you can currently see with this deck list, I am playing 13 hand shops, if you can kind of consider Phantasme to be a hand shop. So 3 Phantasme because I am trying to go second every single time. Going second this format works very well when you are playing a deck like Sky Striker because it is inherently good going second. You have a bunch of ways to kind of break boards like Afterburner, Widow Anchor, hand traps in general, Shark Cannon, even that is good, Cosmic Cyclone. Spell cards in general are just nice when you play a bunch. The only issue obviously is Imperial Order, card has no business existing, but yeah. Phantasme, you could kind of argue that, yeah, it might look kind of weird in a deck that kind of doesn't have the ability to do anything when you have a monster blocking the main monster zone, but thanks to Sky Striker Ace Zeke, it's actually not really a problem. And now you might be seeing 2 Zeke, but in the replays that I'm going to show you guys, I was playing 1 Zeke and 1 Ningirsu, so I was definitely messing around with the ratios a little bit too much. I felt like the Ningirsu never really came up, and you're again going to see why. But the Phantasme was just amazing. You can easily turn it into a Zeke on your own turn. You can crash on Appaloosa, because Appaloosa, when it's summoned, only really has 3 counters. People never make Appaloosa for 4, so this card is great at breaking boards. It's an amazing consistency card. It saved me so much, and it never really sucked for me. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So I really like Phantasme. 3 Ray, obviously, 2 Rose, 3 Ash, 2 Ghost Bell, 3 DD Crew, and 2 Valor. Now this is pretty interesting. Ash, I want to say, is a pretty staple-ish hand shop, even though I honestly believe that the card sucks. It doesn't really stop that many cards. It's once per turn, so it's breaky, unlike DD Crew and Valor. It's just bad against combo decks. Like against Tri-Brigade, you only really have the ability to Ash the Fractale, and you can get Gamma out on that, which kind of blows, but yeah. And the Ghost Bell, you can draw it for turn, negate Revolt with that, which is really cool. DD Crow, it's nice in the mirror match. You can banish Engage when they target with Kigari, which is actually much better than Valoring their Kigari, because not only do you negate the card, but also you make them lose a card permanently for the rest of the game, and if they have Eagle Booster, they are protected from Valor and Ash and Ghost Bell, but not from DD Crow, because you're trying to affect a card in the graveyard and not the monster in the extra monster zone. So DD Crow is the best hand shop in the mirror match, hands down, and you can kind of argue that Phantasme is definitely one of the better ones. Now for the Sky Striker spells, or just the spells in general, Jamming Waves, Rhoda, Double Desires. This is probably going to be the video that's either going to sell you the reasoning to play or not play Desires. I'm going to show you what I banished with Desires pretty much every single time, and you're going to decide whether you want to play the card or not, because it is a huge debate. You know, what do you want to play Desires in the deck or not? If you resolve this in the mirror match, it's garbage. I want to say 90+% of the time, because you can banish 2 Ray and immediately lose the game regardless of what you draw, unless you're Saki and you have like Engage in a way to kill your opponent with like access code, or if you didn't banish Widow Anchors. But the thing with Desires is is that it does it the exact opposite of what Sky Striker is good at doing. So Desires gives you the early juice in order to kind of explode early on when you shouldn't, because Sky Striker is kind of like a long-term deck. Completely cripples your longevity. So you're sacrificing the long-term, your grind game, in order to just increase your, like I said, your power on turn 1, turn 2, whatever. So this is why Desire is just not the best, but obviously Engage, Upstart, Terraforming Double, Afterburners, this is much better than Jamming Waves. Jamming doesn't even out-trap cards most of the time. Cosmic Cyclone is just infinitely better. You can even argue to cut Jamming Waves completely. I just kind of like being able to destroy a monster without targeting, but this honestly never really came up too much. So I could imagine a world in which I would cut Jamming Waves just entirely from the deck. And then we're playing 2 Shark Cannon, Hornet, Triple Widow, Multi-Roll, and Triple Area Zero, obviously. And nothing noteworthy in the extra deck. The side deck, on the other hand, is where the spice is at. So I'm playing 2 Electric Virus because it's amazing in the mirror match. You can steal their Shizuku, so even if you were relying on Widow Anchor to steal their Shizuku, they could actually Widow Anchor themselves, so you wouldn't be able to steal. But the Electric Virus just doesn't care. They don't really have the ability to float at all, which is really cool. And this is not once per turn, so even if they have, actually, Called by the Grave wouldn't work, but still, if the Super Bolt ever gets unbanned, you could play 1 Colossus in your extra deck. So if you draw multiples, you can use the effect and then normal summon, make a Colossus, and pass there because it is a Thunder. I'm actually just joking, by the way. This is never gonna come up. It's gonna hurt the... Oh, it actually only hurts the opponent, but still. Alright, 3 Drone and Logbird, 1 Duster, triple White Howling broken in the mirror match. I think I already kind of made a video on this card, but I could actually make a more in-depth video on why White Howling is the best card in the mirror match, better than Shared Ride. Shared Ride was garbage for me. And then 2 Summon Limit with There Can Only Be One. Do you notice the flaw in my side deck? Do you notice it? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. No Alive Justice Cycle Reader. How am I beating Drytron? I kind of am not. So I decided to switch from... I changed so many cards in the side deck. I even changed a few cards in the main deck, but before we actually get into the second deck list that I actually came up with, I want to show you guys a few replays first. Alright, so I really wanted to show you guys how technical the Salamangreat matchup could be, because my opponent actually drew the nuts, as you can see, like Debug, Spinny, Phantasme, Roar, Imperm, like it's just as good as it gets. I have no hand traps at all, so I'm really just trying to break the board instead of trying to stop my opponent from getting there. And my hand is good but not unfair, right? I mean, I don't have Engage with like I don't know, Terraforming, Upstart Rhoda. No, that would have been like obviously unfair, but I don't have that, so I'm going to kind of gonna have to try to innovate here. Trying to lose the Mech Knight's not the best idea, but still. Afterburner here is actually insane because he forgot to make another Valynx with the Jaguar before making the second Sunlight Wolf. Really huge misplay here, and I'm going to be able to play it out here with the Ray tagging out into Hayate, getting a Shark Cannon actually because I'm good at the game. Yeah, the card is really good against Salamangreat, in case you didn't know. Just DD Crow-ish cards. If you can banish the Jaguars, you're going to have to deal with such a less intimidating follow-up. And yeah, I'm unfortunately going to eat the Imperm here. He still has the Rage, but Rage is infinitely worse than Roar against Sky Striker, because me losing my monster, not the end of the world. I can just float with Kagari and the Area Zero, so summon 2 monsters, so I can make the Zeke, banish the Mirage Talio. That's 1 less threat, and the Gazelle is not sending the Falco, so it really isn't scaring me too much. Now I only have 1 interruption, actually 0. I have Phantasme, but unless I can draw into Hand Trap, I'm not doing too much. Fortunately, his deck does struggle at OTKing. The reason for that is because if you go for the Access Code combo to kill me, I can revive back the Ray, make the Kaina, prevent the Access Code from attacking, and that sponges a lot of damage, which is really good for me. He's just going to revive back his monster, blah blah blah, attack. I can go for Kagari if I really want to. I mean, it really doesn't matter at this point, but if I do that, then on my next turn I can make Kagari again, so I'm going to be able to resolve Engage quite a few times, which is really good. We love being skillful at the game. He only has 1 interruption, which was a huge misplay. He should have used the effect of Roar and then used the effect of Sunlight Wolf to get back the Rage, so he's definitely not playing perfectly here. The Phoenix can easily bait out the Roar, and now I can finally use the Engage, get back my draw, get my engine, get my draws, flip the Area Zero, the Hornet on the Area Zero, that was the target. Widow Steal, oh my god, this is so cool, man. Oh, make another Kagari in like 2 seconds, with, obviously, but it makes sense. get the engage, and I think I'm almost gonna run out of targets at this point. So, yeah, he gets a Gazelle and a Sea Archiver, but it doesn't matter because, look at this, man. Pop, 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 pop. I'll have like 4 pops or something, even more actually, because I can destroy every single monster and the Gazelle twice, and I can still destroy the Sanctuary, so he's not doing too well. No, actually, I can't destroy Sanctuary, but I really had to destroy the Evermax. He didn't summon it off of Masquerena, because I can't really jump over it by battle. He's just gonna use the effect to gain like 5300 attack, and my Shizuku couldn't trigger because I missed, I just no longer had any targets. I just searched too much, and the Zyros was pretty aggressive. I mean, look at this, man. Well, actually, it wasn't too bad, actually. I just banished hand traps and, like, multi-roll. It's not the end of the world, and, like, Area 0 and the Zyro. Well, yeah, well, whatever, but still. And, yeah, Heat Leo supposed to have 2300 attack, but I have so many spells in my grave that even Shizuku has more attack. And he shuffled back Access Code with Evermax, so I can make it again, and pop the, Spinny. Oh my god, this is gonna be so bad for him. I'm never summoning multiple times in one turn, so Nibiru is just so bad here. Desires is the best top deck that he could have had, but it's just not gonna cut it because I have the DD Crow for his follow-up, and this is going to seal the deal. He's going to scoop it up. Let's get into the next one. Alright, so this guy actually forced me to go first, which kind of sucks, but yeah, I always try to go second, like I said. I'm going to, whatever, do the play with Ray, Area 0, very, very old, and then Engage is garbage here because, yeah, it's not really good. It's like, search one card, like, ooh, big deal. And yeah, set 1, search for multi-roll. I really want to have, like, a really aggressive follow-up, instead of just maxing out my Widow Anchors and literally having no play next turn. That's actually just not the way of the Shinobi, and he's going to be able to get rid of my Widow Anchor, which is kind of frustrating, but as long as I don't die, I'm gooch. Yeah, just not dying is, just try not to die. Just that's basically the point of this deck. It's really just try not to die. And he has a bunch of monsters that double their attack every single time, so it's kind of annoying, but it's fine because I can easily just make a Kaina and prevent one of the monsters from attacking, so I'm not going to actually take the full, like, freaking 20k damage. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. But yeah, Sanya here, so if I was on low life points, I actually would have died on the next turn standby phase. Really, really terrifying. And yeah, set a bunch of cards, blah, blah, blah. So gonna draw for turn. DD Crow is always a good card against Eldlich anyways. Eldlich is just such a free matchup. Conquistador Haquero here to destroy the multi-roll, not the Area 0. Kind of random because I wasn't using the effect yet, but still. Am I gonna whiff? Absolutely not. I'm gonna get the Shark Cannon because I'm good at the game again. He has to use the effect of Haquero here. I can just pop the Neural Network instead, but he has another follow-up, another network anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Ooh, get back engaged. Oh my god, Happy Land City. Yeah, okay, whatever. Another Desires. Yeah, it could have been better, could have been worse. Set 4 with an end phase search. Go ahead. Enjoy, have fun. So yeah, I get back the Sanya, kind of just do nothing, and then Phoenix, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3, yeah, I have like 5 cards on my field, like 7 in hand. Oh my god. Nirman Network, Cosmic Cyclone, that was the card that he was trying to pop, by the way. He should have used the effect of Eldlich the Golden Lord on the Cyclone before, so he definitely did screwed up quite hard, honestly, I want to say. That was pretty bad. And yeah, I mean, he's just gonna scoop it up here because look at the game state. I think it makes sense to scoop here. Anyways, let's get into the next one. Alright, this was a game 2 in a Sky Striker mirror match, and yeah, I mean, my opponent willingly chose to go first, I think, because I did win the game 1, and I go Terraforming, he ashes me, my hand sucks anyway, so whatever. He's just gonna pass turn here. He Dusters me when I only have 1 back row, so he's kind of just doing everything wrong. Ash on Terraforming, Duster on 1 back row. Yeah, I mean, 2 plays out of 3 were incorrect, but it's not the end of the world. My hand is infinitely worse than him, so I can't really do too much. The Phantasme here is nice. I have to summon in defense because if I summon an attack, kind of giving a huge advantage to my opponent. I allow him to crash on Phantasme and summon an unproperly summoned Kagari, and that's like the end of the world. Oh my god, Strike on DD Crow here also kind of really annoyed me, but it's not the end of the world. Cyclone on the Engage is needed because he was going to have like a super bad grind game. Shizuku get a Surge, whatever. Can I make a comeback? My top deck is not good, so the odds are definitely not in my favor, right? It goes Bell the Ray here, and then I can set 1 back row and pass turn. He's going to be Kaijuing me. Kaijus are also not good in the mirror match. You're definitely not trying to play Kaijus. I have to change the Shared Ride because he has 3 or more spells in grave, and now he's just only making Hayate sending a card and making a vanilla Shizuku because he's under shared ride, so if he searches, I draw one card, which is good for me. I draw garbage, so I have to pass by setting one, and he has the Veiler, so he's trying to go for the kill, but that was exactly what I needed, because now I can Ash the Needle Fiber, he has less stability, and I can finally kind of just draw Ray and explode, and Merry Christmas. And again, he's kind of just doing everything wrong. Imperm on the Hayate is definitely incorrect. There was kind of like nothing for me to really foolish. I can successfully resolve the engage here because I still have Kagari access. Well, I mean, I'm not really gonna be able to kind of do it because I didn't have the engage in my graveyard yet, since I wasn't able to foolish it. I actually didn't have a single Sky Striker card, but still, it was still the incorrect move to do. That doesn't excuse it. And yeah, recycle back Widow Anchor, kind of cool, but doesn't get you there. And I'm going to be able to recycle back my Ray. He didn't use the... interesting thinking. But whatever. Banish the Ray. I have to tag it out because otherwise I'm gonna have a useless monster. And he just passes here. At this point, I'm going to be... How many spell cards does he even have in the graveyard? Like freaking 20 billion. Oh my god, what is he doing? Anyways, I'm really just winning because my opponent is almost letting me win. But still, if it was a good player playing like literally perfectly, I mean, I would have been like in dire just trouble, because Widow Anchor on Hayate, you're trying to Widow Anchor the Kagari, so even if I had the Widow Anchor myself, at least the Kagari gets negated, but now I can finally Kagari for the engage, and at this point, there's just no turning back. I am going to win this game. You can already see it, man. Recycle back 3 cards with the multi-roll. Absolute insanity. Yeah, I went from being like on top deck mode with just a Ray to I have infinitely more cards than he does, and he already made the Kagari, so even if he Shark Cannons the Kagari, can't summon it, because you can only Shark Cannon revive back, summon Kagari once per turn. So that's it, that's all. Let's get into the next one. Alright, this was quite technical on my end, but not really on his. Again, Subterror, not the best deck. I mean, it really is the best deck when you're going first and you have Guru, well, Hidden City, not Guru, Hidden City plus Red Eyes Fusion. That's actually unfair. And his Excavate was so good. Like, you obviously take Solemn Strike, right? But I don't know why he took Final Battle. That makes no sense. Oh my god. And also not using Duality kind of also doesn't make any sense. At this point, I also don't understand why you're summoning Dragoon in the extra monster zone, but it's fine. Whatever. I can't do anything, so it's fine. Sometimes it doesn't really matter what your opponent is, who he is. If you don't really have the cards to win, you don't have the cards to win. So this is a double message where I'm showing you guys that you can still win when you're in a completely insta-lose position, granted your opponent is just not playing well, because right now I'm going to win this game, by the way, and my next top deck is not Raid. Do you know what I'm going to top deck? Try to guess. Just look at the game state. What kind of card can I draw to make me win the game here that isn't Engage, Ray, Rose, or anything? Just try to think. Shark Cannon. Yes, I can make Access Code Talker and pop his entire field. Yeah, well, I mean, going to jump over the Dragoon, but still. Yeah, summon back the Veiler, and then Celine, revive back, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's just kind of sad that, you know, you can pretty much be Monkey Flip, just not even have a brain, just negate the first card that your opponent uses, and still win the game because Dragoon is that good. So this is the main reason behind this replay, just showing you that Dragoon is an unfair card. If you are paired up against it, you are honestly going to die, really can't do anything about it. And yeah, I'm attacking directly, but really, if it was any other player, I probably would have lost that one, so kind of sucks, but still not the end of the world. Now let's get into my updated deck list. Alright, so as you can see, I didn't change that much, but I still changed a bit. So I'm not playing Desires anymore. I feel like it kind of screwed me over a tiny bit too much actually. And I'm playing like what, 15 hand traps? I'm playing Imperm instead. Everything else I felt like was pretty nice. Jamming Waves, I think it's actually the worst Sky Striker spell in the game right now to play. Well, Eagle Booster is like really bad. I hate it. It's only good when you have the nuts. But yeah, the deck list apart from that, pretty much the same. Side deck, I had to play Alive Justice Cycle Reader and more outs to Anti-Spell and Imperial Order because these cards were annoying me, and that's, like I said, why I keep saying that Jamming Waves is bad. And Harpy's Feather Duster is really bad because you're not trying to play cards that you can, like normal spell cards when you're already playing a spell heavy deck. You are really trying to play, you know, chainable cards in order to not die to the blowouts that beat this deck. And for the extra deck, again, nothing has changed. I'm still playing 2 Zeke. The side deck, like I said, already explained it. So that's pretty much it for this first episode of Let's Try to Win a YCS. We hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two and enjoy. And